many badass and emotional moments can a single anime episode have? That's the question that episode 54 of Attack on Titan asks. Guys, I can say without a shadow of a doubt, Attack on Titan has been kind of a long-winded experience, but that does not diminish the fact that this series can deliver some of the best, most emotional, and high-octane action scenes that I have ever seen, and episode 54 is without a shadow of a doubt one of the most glorious episodes of the entire series, and definitely the most amazing, heart-pumping episode of the second half of Season 3. I loved this episode, and basically, I'm about to gush about it for the entire duration of this review, so let's go ahead and jump in. But before we go into the finer details, spoiler warning. If you haven't watched this episode, make sure to go watch it now before you watch this review. One thing that is kind of interesting about Attack on Titan recently is how they've sort of changed the time slot and when it's actually released to the public. There's been a lot of controversy over the last couple of weeks because a number of these episodes have actually been leaked, and Crunchyroll and Funimation have decided that they're going to delay these simulcasts, which basically means we're not going to get these episodes until very late on Sunday from now on. Originally, they weren't going to release these episodes until Wednesday, which was a little extreme, and the fan base was just not having it. Twitter was absolutely lighting up, and they decided to give us a compromise where we're still going to get the episodes on Sunday, but we're going to have to wait for it a little bit longer. And I'm glad we didn't have to wait long, because this episode, guys, was nuts. Not only did we have a lot of major character deaths, but we had some of the coolest action that I've actually seen from the franchise. And let me go ahead and just say it right now. Levi is a freaking savage monster of epicness. He is a god as far as I'm concerned, as he went completely ham against the Beast Titan. I had my doubts about Levi going up against the Beast Titan. I thought there would be no way that he would be able to take this creature down. But not only did he manage to bring this thing down to its knees, but he quite literally carved Zeke out of its neck. This moment, guys, was just the opening moment of this episode, and only one of the amazing action moments, and the way that it was executed was absolutely brilliant and gorgeous. You would think that with how the actual structure of Attack on Titan works, that a lot of the times these scenes of the characters in their ODM gear flying around and cutting up Titans would get boring. It never manages to fail to impress me. I mean, just every single freaking time! And whether it's the actual camera movements or just the sheer amount of blood that explodes out of these creatures as they're getting carved into, this moment, guys, just absolutely made me howl with excitement. With Levi just cutting up the entire Beast Titan's arm, slicing his eyes, swinging around underneath his feet, cutting the Achilles tendons, bringing this guy slamming down on his chin, only to come right back down, cutting his hand into multiple pieces, and just completely slashing the absolute hell out of his neck as he just ripped Zeke from the neck of the Beast Titan, shoving his sword directly into his mouth! Guys, holy crap, I love this scene! Now, the scene itself is incredibly bittersweet, as Levi does manage to take down the Beast Titan, but before he can get any solid information out of him, suddenly, one of Zeke's Titans comes up, picks him up with his mouth, and makes a quick escape, much to the anger of Levi, as he made this big promise to Erwin to take down the Beast Titan. And it's made even more devastating by the fact that pretty much everybody that was in that cavalry was pretty much killed. Even characters like Marlowe, who was a character that I thought would stick around just a little bit longer. But again, everybody in Attack on Titan might as well be wearing a red shirt, because anybody can die at any moment. And watching these people just run headlong into battle, not giving up, speaks volumes for the absolute balls of humanity. Something that even freaks out Zeke a little bit as he sees that even though their efforts seem fruitless, they continue to plow forward. It's an incredible moment, and like I said, just the opening of this episode. The rest of the episode is an epic battle against Reiner and Bertholdt, the Colossal and Armored Titans. We have two groups who are actually going to be breaking up. We have Armin, who's going to go and try and wake up Eren so that he can take down the Colossal Titan, and then we have Mikasa, John, Connie, and Sasha who are going after the Armored Titan. And both of these scenes are incredibly intense. The battle against Reiner continues to be a desperate one as his armor just gives him so much protection, and they're going to try and use their Thunder Spears to take him down. In particular, they want to take out his jaw so that his mouth will go open so that Mikasa can launch one of these things directly into his mouth, which will go out through the nape of his neck, causing a massive explosion and taking out Reiner. And at first, it seems like it's not going to work out at all, with them actually managing to get a pretty good hit on his jaw, but his mouth doesn't open. Sasha ends up getting hurt in the process, and when all hope seems lost, of course, Hanji Zoe seems to appear again. It looks like she sustained some pretty big damage. It looks like she actually lost an eye in that massive explosion when the Colossal Titan actually transformed, but this isn't going to stop Mikasa from doing what Mikasa always does, which is fucking shit up and making it look really awesome in the process. Hanji uses one of her Thunder Spears to open up Reiner's jaw, and that's when Mikasa boldly just jumps directly into his mouth, launching one of these Thunder Spears directly into his mouth with a massive explosion coming out from his neck. This could very well be the death of Reiner right here. And then we have the frickin' Colossal Titan. What's really interesting here is that Armin actually realizes that the Colossal Titan, the more it actually battles and gives off steam, it starts to become thinner, as the actual powers of this Titan are quite literally consuming his physical body. Thus, it's going to give them the perfect opportunity to not only get him weak, but to take him down. He also realizes that when he uses his big steam attack, he can't actually move, so he's going to use that as an opportunity to try and distract him, while Eren attacks him from another direction. Now, this might be the most emotional moment of the entire episode, as we could very well be witnessing the death of Armin. I honestly don't know how he's going to come back from this situation, but basically what happens, Armin uses his ODM gear to attach to the Colossal Titan's teeth and allows him to use his big steam attack, and he holds on as long as possible, allowing his body to get burnt up in the process. He loses all of his hair, all of his skin. He basically just gets completely obliterated in this scene, allowing Eren to not only trick the Colossal Titan by using his hardening abilities on the wall, but also leaving his Titan ability, allowing him to attack the Colossal Titan from behind, cutting up his neck, and again, ripping Bertholdt out from the body. It is an amazing moment, but it comes with a massive sacrifice: the death of Armin. The last thing you see of him is his charred body as he's completely destroyed. And man, did it hit me emotionally. I've never been the biggest fan of the character of Armin, but this is one of those episodes where you realize that if you spend enough time with these characters, you can get emotionally attached. And it was so heartbreaking as, you know, the whole theme of Armin and Eren wanting to go to see the ocean together, knowing that he'll never have that opportunity, but still allowing Eren to be able to pull that off. Man, it just hits you right here the entire time. It's also, of course, backed up by amazing and ridiculous animation, and one of the things that I think always pulls the Attack on Titan anime together is its just thunderous music score. Just, man, I think people have talked in length about how good the music of Attack on Titan is, and how you can almost get jaded about how over the top and crazy it is, especially after experiencing it for so many years, but man, it just still manages to amplify every freaking scene. So the episode basically ends with a lot of losses, but just as many victories. It's bittersweet to say the least, but I can honestly say that I think that this was one of the strongest episodes of the entire franchise, featuring some of the greatest action moments, some of the biggest sacrifices, and deaths of some major characters. What's the rundown on this episode of Attack on Titan? I am exhausted after watching this episode and exhilarated. That's really the feelings that I get from watching this one, and I was starting to feel that maybe Attack on Titan had run its course. Maybe we finally reached a wall, pun intended, of where the series can actually go in terms of its action and its spectacle. But no, just like the actual Titans themselves, they managed to scale the walls and subvert all of my expectations and give me something that I didn't even know I wanted to see. And I was just not prepared for how good this episode was actually going to look. I think the Levi moment alone could have made this episode a perfect one. Like, the rest of the episode could have just featured the characters running away, and I would have just been absolutely psyched. But the fact that it was backed up by even more amazing moments of Mikasa taking down Reiner, and Eren and Armin working together to take down the Colossal Titan just made this an absolutely awesome episode of the series. It was also incredibly heartbreaking, as not only was it Armin who was killed, but apparently Erwin looks like he is going to be dead as well, and pretty much every single person aside from one soldier in the cavalry was actually killed. Like I said, the moment with Marlowe dying was also really depressing, especially because the last thoughts he had was of Hitch, clearly someone that he really cared about and probably loved, and his last memory of her was basically her just relaxing and being in bed, something that he wished he could be doing at this moment, only to immediately getting blasted with a bunch of rocks, which probably just killed him instantly. It's such a hard-hitting moment, but again, what I love about it is that it shows the enduring spirit of humanity, how even in the face of absolute death, which is practically guaranteed, mankind will not stand down and it will not give up. I also just got to give props to the animation studio, the music composers, the voice actors, just everything freaking worked in this show. I will say, I just learned recently that apparently in the next season of Attack on Titan, a brand new animation studio is going to be working on the show, and this has me excited and worried. Worried because I'm afraid this is going to be just like One Punch Man, where it just does not end up living to the hype of the previous seasons. I really just wanted there to be a lot of consistent quality in the series, and thus far, that's exactly what Attack on Titan has actually been. So I really hope that the future of the series is going to look as good as it does in this episode, because it still surprises me how after years of this series, they can still manage to get me so pumped up. And it's still basically just people fighting against giant monsters with swords. But man, just the art direction and the actual like animation that's done in this series just always manages to blow me away. Basically, I'm gushing at this point. I loved this episode of Attack on Titan, which is exactly why I'm going to give it a 5 out of 5. You heard my thoughts on the episode. I want to hear yours. What did you guys think about this episode? Did you have any favorite moments from Levi, Mikasa, Armin, Eren, anything? Tell me what they are in the comment section below. Is Erwin dead? Is Armin going to be able to recover? I just don't think it's possible. And what do you hope to see from the future of Attack on Titan? So thank you all so much for watching this review. Make sure to subscribe to the channel for more awesome anime and topic videos. One of the best ways to support my channel, aside from watching the videos and liking them, is to check out my PayPal and my Patreon account. You can find links to those in the description box below. For my Patreon, if any of you actually manage to donate $10 or more, remember, I'll review an anime of your choice. So I'll see you all next time. And as always, stay down there, baby.